Hey, we live. We in the spot, man. What's happening?
Yes,
What's
sir.
going on, elevated, man?
Shoot. Just chilling. Delivered pups all day yesterday.
Yeah.
Off of Judge Victor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm liking them a whole lot so far, though. And she did really good. It was her first litter.
Yeah. Man. Man.
And,
Hard
you
finish,
know,
man. With the
the
building. What's
the
happening?
topic
Hard
on Dre's
finish.
was built, not bought. And
Yeah.
I made both the grandparents, both the parents, both these
Mm.
puppies. Ooh.
10 puppies.
Yeah, 10 so far. I got 7 males and 3 females.
Okay.
All the females will stay close,
Mhm.
but the males will be for sale.
Do you ever
Some of them.
separate them
What do you mean?
by gender?
Nah, no, not like I'll take a couple pictures of them like that, but nah.
Uh,
Oh, only when they get a little
Wells,
older.
Wells Walker, what's happening, man? Skip, Skip in the building. Hey, so 10 puppies. Let's talk color. Tony M, what's up, man?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So,
So yeah.
4 of them are like chocolate red noses, and
Mm,
then I got 2 brindles. One's a solid brindle with no white on him at all. He's
mm,
dark brindle. Then the other
mm.
one's a brindle with like white feet and white on her neck and stuff. Uh,
Okay.
then I got 2 buckskins with black noses.
Okay.
Uh, and a black one. Yep, and the black one I'm keeping.
Yeah. Hey, Tony M, what's happening? Bad batch. MKM bottoms. MKM say, let me get 3 for 10 elevated. Yeah.
Shoot, I want to put a couple of these in some good dude's hands.
Oh man, elevated. You need some coffee, man. You
Yeah.
drink
Oh, I'm
coffee?
just tying my boots. No, actually, I don't. I'm about to
You
go get me
need.
some sweet tea.
Hey, if you get man, if you got you a shot of coffee right now, man, you wouldn't know what to do. You wouldn't. You wouldn't know what to do. Man, you be out there cleaning the yard, doing all types of stuff, man.
I drink it a little bit, but like coffee don't do me like that. I don't even care if I drink. I don't even care if I drink like what's it called? No decaf, whatever. I mean I
Yeah.
don't. It don't affect me like that. But like we grew up drinking Mountain Dew and shit in my area, so
Mountain Dew.
yeah.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah.
I don't think coffee touches it too much.
Yeah. Um, man. So how you handle the delivery process?
Oh, so she did really good. She popped them out and was busting the sacks and did everything. Like for it to be her first litter, she did really good.
Mhm.
Her and her sisters, both sisters have been great mamas though too. So
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Supreme, what's happening, bro?
Man, out here picking up this dog doodle. You know what it is, man. Trying to work this dog. Hey, bro said he grew up on Mount Dew. Boy, I know you was old Jack. What these your calm? Hey, what these your calm? These your calm years now, huh?
Hey, as soon as he said Mountain Dew, I was thinking elevated as a kid, like one of the kids on Talladega Nights. I'm
yeah,
all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
yep,
I'll beat your ass.
yep.
I'll, I'll beat your ass, old man. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Hung
Yeah,
you like a spider monkey.
yeah,
That's my favorite part.
yeah,
That kid's crazy as hell.
yeah. That was elevated. That was you.
I don't
You
know
know
how
what I'm
they
saying?
got. I don't know how they got his parents to agree to let him cuss like that in the movie.
Hey man, because they probably let them cuss in real life. Shit.
Probably.
Oh, it's gonna be
Oh man.
78 degrees today. I'm finna work her twice today, boy. Watch this.
Let me see. Let me see what the temp gonna be.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to rain all freaking week.
That's how
Which
y'all.
is,
That's how I got did last week while y'all had beautiful weather.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't mind it. It's been pretty dry, so
It's supposed to rain today.
I don't mind it.
Oh, it's gonna be 83. That ain't bad.
No, that's nice.
Yeah, but it's gonna be raining all evening.
Hmm.
Yeah, so when like I've done a couple breedings off the Medusa stuff, right?
Hmm.
And like back to back in it and shit. And I've been waiting to see one pop out with the white streaks up its nose, like my
Mhm.
four dog had. And
Mhm.
I got one male that's black with the white streaks up his nose now. Finally, I've been waiting
Yeah.
to see that pop out for so long.
Yeah.
Because Thor, he threw a heavy number of that. He threw a
Mhm.
lot of himself. So to see that out of these so many generations down, that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You think I know it's too early to tell, but do you think this will be a repeat breeder?
Nah, because it's the way I don't really do repeat breedings, right?
Mhm. Why?
I mean, I just same thought process as like I can move forward instead of having to do the same thing over again. Even if it works, I'll move forward.
Yeah.
If that works, I always keep the necessary components to move forward. So, like,
Yeah.
I thought about redoing Mason and Medusa a couple times, but I just never, I probably won't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty impressed with her ability as a mom though, because Medusa, she was a great mama, but she didn't want
Uh,
us no sacks or nothing like that. No.
yeah.
But all her daughters have done great. In that doghouse with them babies, what are you doing?
Hey, how you holding the phone funny or the mic funny?
Oh, sorry, it's probably my
Yeah, you
throat.
sound you sound like you recording a rap in the closet, bro.
Yeah, it sound like you in a bottle. You know what I'm
Sorry.
saying?
Can you hear me
Man,
now?
Sound like a
I got a
genie
question
in
for
a
y'all.
bottle. Yeah.
Uh, when y'all do treat y'all yard, what do y'all like to use to treat y'all yard? And then do y'all wait for a day that it's finna rain and do it right before it rain, or like what's y'all
Man,
process of treating y'all yard?
it depends because being that like I got one dog, man, the way I treat my yard is not I don't have to worry about it as much as you would with multiple dogs. And I got like this little spray that I got from uh like Amazon or whatnot, man. I forgot what the name of it's called, man, but it deters flies, all types of insects. It's pet friendly, and everything like that. And I'll come out and spray the yard once a month. I know it's other ways that I could do it, and I'll be changing it up once I start getting other dogs. But it's real simple for me. And spray the patio down, hit it with a little bleach, spray it down again, call it a day.
Facts. You ever used DE in the yard?
Who?
DE, D Earth.
No.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
I don't use that in the yard. I use lime in the yard, but I use the diatomaceous earth like feeding them and stuff. Has anybody tried the purple power yard spray?
No, I've heard of it though.
I've heard of the yard spray, but I haven't tried it.
Mm.
I clean my yard with I'll go through and spray with like Paretha in a sprayer,
Yeah.
and then I'll come back and cover it real good with lime.
Hey,
So
you
like,
still sound like you a genie in a bottle, man.
Okay. What about now?
Yeah, you sound loud and clear, Captain.
Okay,
Hey,
I
loud
don't
and clear.
understand. I
Uh,
just muted it and unmuted it.
okay.
That's weird as
Yeah.
shit.
Technical difficulties, man.
Yeah. Yep. But,
Yeah, we got
yeah,
it good.
I just do the Paretha like
Uh-huh.
2 times a year, and I might do it a little more up here than my old house, but then I just
Yeah,
cover it with lime, real good.
yeah,
And the diatomaceous earth, I feed them that, and
yeah,
sometimes I'll put it on their back and stuff, like coat them in it.
yeah. Hey,
Mm.
Wells,
What's
what's
up?
happening?
Ain't shit ain't too much, man.
Hey, tell me about Bang.
You said who?
Bang.
What about?
Tell me about it.
I mean, what you want to know?
Tell me about him. Tell me about him as if I didn't know him. Tell me about Bang.
I mean, what all you want to know, big fella? I need to know what I need to tell you. I might need to leave something out.
I got a
What
question.
you want to know about?
How many
I just want.
offspring has Bane had for you?
You said how many offspring?
Yeah.
They ain't only bred once on my yard. His other
Okay.
litters, his other two is off of my yard.
Okay.
That's where his he got a female that's a champion, and it's from two. What they half sisters? Yeah, it's two half sisters that's heavily bred down from different offspring off of honey bunch. And there's one, two, three, four, five, six. So you got eight from between the two half sisters, you got eight successful offspring, and one of them is a female champion.
So,
Yeah.
do you think? Well, okay. Let me get a little more specific. What are Bane's traits that you specifically that you bred for that you got that you really like that stand out with Bane to you?
Brains.
Okay.
That's mainly. I mean, he powerful the mouth and all that, but I more look for brains in a dog because as gifted as he is, if he ain't had the brains to to become successful, then he wouldn't have became successful. So it's mainly his personality and his smartness, which I noticed uh, carried in most of his offspring.
Yeah.
They able to get you could put them in a situation and they'll find a way out easy. Not too many dogs can actually do that.
Right.
Some of them just drive crazy. That's like when we talk about the hogs last week. You can have a good dog. He can be a killer, but if he ain't got no mind, if he a dumb dog, then he not gonna know how to get. He or she won't know how to get out of situations. So with Bane, is more his personality. Like I said, that really make me like him because he chill.
Okay.
He not too rowdy unless he need to be. Other than some of my other dogs just on go 24/7. You
Okay.
know, so
So, with that being said, you when you got Bane
Mhm.
and you like those traits, do you think that you could recreate the same thing as a breed?
I was I would have to say time would tell because ain't no guarantee on that. Uh, I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna say time would tell on that part because ain't no guarantee. I could say yes and get it done in the next breeding, or it might take two more breedings. But again, time would tell as far as that part.
Okay, so you would say Bane is a good dog, right?
Yeah, excellent.
Okay, did you breed Bane? I mean, did you breed for Bane or did you buy Bane?
Nah, I bought man.
You bought Bane. Okay, so Bane is a good dog. A good
Yeah, yeah,
dog
yeah.
doesn't make a a good dog doesn't make a good breeder, right? Because that was I'm just bringing up the topic of conversation that we had earlier. Do you consider yourself a good breeder?
I'll say yeah because I
Oh,
don't do a lot of I don't do a lot of breedings, and most of the time, more than half of the litter is successful. So I would
right,
say
right,
yeah.
right, right. Okay, so your percentages are more successful than non-successful as a breeder.
Yes.
Okay, so with your percentages being more successful than non-successful as a good breeder and having a good dog that you purchased, what are your chances at recreating that dog? Honestly, I mean, just being,
I mean,
realistically
I would
speaking.
honestly, I would say high because um, between his three, I'm not even gonna count the shit outside of my yard. I'm gonna just tell you from the Bane and Macho Boo breed. Those males, if you was to see them in person and actually
Mhm.
see them and all of that, then you would agree with me. I would say it's a good chance because his sons are very good representations of him. Like literally, they just not his size. But as far as when you say like a clone personality and
Mhm.
everything, his sons are
Yeah,
exactly like him.
yeah, yeah.
So I would say a
Okay.
high chance, but a good dog don't make a good breeder because a shitty breeder could just so happen to have good dogs that make him look good, which is the
Yeah.
case with a lot of people today. So I wouldn't say I'll say the dog makes a lot of shitty breeders look good. I'll say that
Yep,
Okay.
I've seen that.
because you got to remember if a lot of credit gets taken from certain dogs, but when you got people, when you got all right, so let's put it in simple terms. If me and Elevated was some shitty people, and we was just in it for the money aspect, me and him could get together and say, "All right, well, look, let's go get some off of let's go get some off of NASCAR, and let's go get some off of
That makes
Red
sense.
Boy, some
Yeah.
shit, right? We could breed those together. It's a roll of the dice, but because of how those dogs bred, you have a chance of getting some good shit. Now, me and Elevated could be rookies. We could be rookies trying to act like we've been in the game a long time. But the thing is, depending on who get those dogs and how they turn out over a period of time of doing repeat breeders, that's going to expose you to who you really are.
Okay. Now, this is a question for Elevated, Supreme, and Welsh. And this is a personal preference question.
Mhm.
Which uh, in your personal preference, what is a good dog to you?
So he needs to be intelligent, easy to work, willing to work. Uh, he needs to please me. You know what I mean? Like want to please me. Because there's some dogs that want to. They're like a kid sometimes. You'll notice like when a son hits a certain age, he'll do what the dad does. So like they're kind of like that. They'll get to where they want to do. They'll do things that they think you want to see. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And some of that comes from intelligence. Like I had a question for Welsh. Like, do you think the reason that we see higher success numbers in our breedings is because of the intelligence factor? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, that has the intelligence. You can't ignore the intelligence factor. For instance, well, that's why I say when a certain dog, me personally, this is me. I don't want no stupid dog. I don't want no stupid dog.
me
I
neither.
don't give a fuck how. I don't give a fuck how good the dog is. He could he could be an ace. If he giving me stupid ass offspring, which I gotta work harder on my yard because they ain't got no fucking brains, then I'm good with that.
Well, well,
I'll take a
but you jumping the gun a little bit
Okay.
because we still talking about just the dog itself, just being a good dog.
Yeah. So
I mean, it could be a good dog, but I like all around dogs. It got to be an all around dog, as I stated last week. I don't I don't I don't want no one dimension dog.
Hmm.
Um, so as far as a good dog, in my category, it has to be an all around dog. Now, it could be a one dimension dog. It might be good, but it just don't fit my program by being a one dimension dog. It could
Right.
be a
and
good dog. I'm not taking nothing from the dog, but as far as my program, I don't want no one dimension dog.
Okay. Um, does a good dog have to be a producer?
for what I'm doing, yeah, you know what I
Yeah, I'm
mean.
gonna
Uh,
say
For my
that could go both
pursuit,
ways.
yeah. But like for other people, it don't even matter because they're not ever gonna even test that factor. So I guess
no.
that just depends on the man you are.
Well, let's look at it from a perspective like this. Let's look at it from perspective of a service working perspective, a functional perspective. Do you think a good dog has to be a producer?
As far as functionally, like as in like what it does for you.
Functional job, a good hunting dog, but
So
produce shit.
I consider myself a breeder. Like I'm
Hmm.
good at putting dogs together and making the next generation. You know what I mean? So like
Okay.
I want to place my dogs in the hands of hunters and stuff. I don't really care too much about there doing it myself. The part I
Right.
love is breeding, and like a lot of
Hmm.
people, they don't like that and stuff. But like, I grew up so tiny, seeing that as like that was one of the first steps that really caught my attention. You know what I mean? Of the dogs, the breeding process, and them having puppies, and like, that's my favorite thing in the world. Like, I'm so happy that I got these puppies out here right now. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Uh,
big A, big A.
yes, sir. Yes,
All right,
sir.
so look. Let me give you a better definition of a good dog in my book. Okay, with Bane. Now, a lot of people say game dogs can't be personal protection or they not good guard dogs and yada 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 yada. Okay, with Bane, never trained them for personal protection. You can't really train a guard dog. It's either the dog on guard or not. But um, he does all of that, and without me having to train him. Now, when I'm hunting, I train my dogs for certain signals. Like if I say a certain word, he'll go for the legs. If I say a certain word, he'll go for the neck. If I say certain word, he'll go into the belly, head, and all that. He trained with a lot of my dogs train with command, but with Bane in particular, you can't just come on my yard and pet Bane. He gonna eat you up. And
Yeah,
if my kid's outside, he's smart enough to where something could come past, say another animal, he gonna get ready, but he know unless rather it's a dog, whatever it is, unless it come a certain distance, if the kids are outside playing, he not tripping. But
yeah,
once it get too close, he gonna take off. So it's that type of brains I look for. I can't do that with all of my dogs. Only certain dogs I can do that type of stuff with and leave them outside with the kids and certain things. So it's like I say, the intelligent level is a lot of people don't look for that in their dogs. They just want dogs that's drive crazy. But you could have all of that, but if you don't have a brain to go with it, at some point you're not going to like something about your dog at some point if it doesn't have the right intellect.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
Hey,
see,
let me
that
go to.
intelligence thing is passed on from Roscoe was intelligent, Thor was intelligent. You know, all these dogs I've seen in the past. So that's something I feel is necessary for me to see in these dogs. If they
Let
ain't, then they're lacking it.
Let me go to the comments real quick, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, quick FC want to know elevated what do you feed uh thought you said it yesterday.
What makes a shitty breeder that's breeding good dogs?
Yeah, I'm getting to
Like
that
what?
next.
What dog food I feed?
Yeah,
The Black Pride. It's made in
yeah,
Kentucky.
yeah,
It's a good dog food. I mean, I've heard a couple people said they had issues on it and stuff, but I've never seen none, and I've fed it for a long time.
yeah. Tony M say what makes a shitty breeder that's breeding good dogs.
His mannerisms, his like determination in doing it. Like, why is he doing it? You know what I mean? Uh, that could be for money, for clout, uh, with no like emotional attachment. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. We've went and bought dogs from a dude. Hell, he's barefooted walking through puppy shit, and like he was just you could tell he didn't take care of them. Like they were kept in like a wire crate their whole puppyhood. Like you could tell. And I mean, she's a good dog. Just because she come from a piece of shit don't mean nothing.
Yeah, that I would say that's separate. It's even a shitty breeder. If you got somebody that's doing a bunch of breedings, and let's say they all together, let's say they probably bred about 3 or 4 generations worth of dogs, and they can't tell you no trace about the dogs. That's a shitty fucking breeder.
Yeah,
They can't tell you no trace about the dog. They just breeding it just to breed it. They can't tell you a lick. They can't tell you which one's smart. They can't tell you which one the most athletic. Nothing.
yeah,
They can tell you the pedigree, but they can't tell you nothing else.
yeah. So when so with that being said, like would you also a bad breeder? I think hold on, let me get that off of there. Yeah, man. So also you think a bad breeder that breeds good dogs can be a bad breeder by putting the dogs in the wrong hands?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to us to have them, and everybody says, well, you can't choose. Like my mom, one of the first litters, she was like, well, you can't control what people does with the puppies. I'm like, I don't want to control them. I want them to be good. I want them to do right by the puppy. So I've been very
Yeah,
picky about who gets them.
yeah, yeah. And I'm saying, for example, let's say you like I say, you got good dogs. Your percentages are higher than lower, and these good dogs are going to people necessarily with good intentions, but they don't make good use out of the dogs. So it's kind of like a wasted generation per se. You know what I'm saying?
So if somebody takes these dogs and they don't breed them and move forward like they should, I can't help that. But I've already kept my step to keep going. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's
So I don't really care if they move forward because I've kept mine that I need to go with myself. I've put
what
all
I'm
that weight on my shoulders instead of needing somebody else to do it.
yeah, no, because the whole deal is everybody's not a breeder. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect everybody to who puts a hand on your dogs to be, coming at it from a breeding perspective. But what I'm saying is, you got good dogs, you got good stock. You know what you put into it, the hard, the blood, sweat, and tears and all. And you put a good dog in somebody's hands that doesn't make good use of it, and you do that too often. So what you breeding for is really serving the public no purpose.
Yeah.
You know,
So
you
well, like my dogs, you know what I mean? Like I don't want them to be public too much. I want a few
mhm,
good guys to have something old school, what they used to be. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But other than that, I don't want it to be like Chinaman dogs per se. I don't want to produce that many to where they're just you can come to me anytime and buy a dog. You know what I mean? I don't even want that.
okay.
I
Nah,
like the
And
few
hell no.
selective litters I do. I feel like I have better results because I'm assessing a lot more
does a
as they
good
age.
breeder does a good breeder breed for the public?
It depends. Is he a commercial breeder or like a hobby breeder? A
Yeah, I was
commercial
gonna say that's
breeder
what it
breeds
all.
for the
A
public.
good breeder. He's just a good breeder. Either way it go.
I
Well,
mean, the public
there's
situation
levels
don't
to it.
really. Yeah, I'm about to say because when people say public, it depends on the public you're talking about because you have people who sell to the public, but they don't sell to non-working camps. So when you say public,
I would
these
consider
people either doing.
I wouldn't consider that public because I would because you breeding with a purpose. When I say public, that means come on, come one, come all.
That means commercial. That's a commercial
Yeah, that's
breeder.
Oh,
that mean commercial. That's commercial.
Yeah.
well, that
Because
to me, okay,
public, you got
okay,
no. I was gonna say because you got public
okay.
people. You
Explain
got people that
public to
breed
me.
public. Okay, so public. Okay, for me, under the Welsh Kennels name, which y'all know, I'm public, but I don't sell to everybody. I'm going to sell to a hog hunter first before I sell to the person going to the confirmation show.
Yeah.
So it's different. Like Elevator said, Tom is commercial.
Hmm.
Me, I'm not commercial. It's a lot of people that's not commercial because you could pull up and get turned away at the door. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you have commercial and then you have public, meaning it might be hog hunting. It could be a lot of things. But when you say people, that's the problem with this with arguments coming with a lot of people because
Hmm.
public doesn't always mean commercial.
Hmm.
Commercial, the definition of a commercial business and public is what Tom Gardner is.
Okay.
That's commercial. Public does not mean anybody can come and get your shit. That is not what that means. Because
Yeah.
I can show you my inbox. I don't even reply to half the people. So
Hmm.
public is only public meaning in a open closed network. I'm gonna put it that way. An open
Hmm.
closed network. Where commercial, you got the website, you got YouTube videos, you got 3 to 6 people working in the yard with you because you have more than you can handle by yourself. That is commercial. So we talking about it public, but that don't mean anybody could just come and get a puppy from me at Elevated Kennels.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a difference, and again, that's where most of the arguments come from. When people say, "Oh, well, he a public per," and the person really not public, just because. You hear him talking openly, that don't mean he's public because he's not going to
But
sell to everybody.
okay, but okay. So I used to own a barbecue restaurant, and we got the right to refuse service, and we're public,
But you're not commercial. You're public
Yeah.
right?
because listen. You can go to certain establishments right now, and depending
Mhm.
on how their structure is set up, if they refuse service to you, you can sue them. Y'all had the right to refuse service because you wasn't commercial. You were a public service, but you're not commercial, as in Walmart, Target, all of that shit.
You
They're
ever heard of
commercial.
like a J&S where it's like a what do they call that? It's like a cafeteria style. They have all the
Yep,
food laid
yep,
out, and you
yep.
go through, and the ladies will give it to you and hand you your plate. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
but
yeah, okay.
that's a commercial restaurant, whereas like
Exactly.
yours is like you can choose. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
what's
That's two
weird? See,
different
I
things. Two
understand
different things.
but okay. So see, I understand Big A's because if you go back in his kitchen, what do they call the fryer? What do they call the sink? What do they call the dishwasher? Those are all
Yep,
commercial dishwashers. Yeah.
commercial.
So I see what you mean.
Well,
That is a very
yeah, yeah.
confusing
Well, yeah.
concept, actually.
But I like his what Hard Finish say, man. He said you should be breeding for self, and that I
Exactly.
1000% agree with that. Uh, yeah, 1000% agree with that. He say, Burning Stars say Albert White that bred tab dogs kept a nasty yard, and
Yep,
as
sure
did
did.
few other we known dog men. Cleanest I seen was Bancroft, West Penn, Tant, and Klaus.
Huh. Yep.
Yeah, a
And
lot.
Well,
again,
hey,
when you got too much that you can't handle, you're going to be in that situation.
well, I don't even know how many he had, Al White, but like, for example, like he knew they were coming to video his dogs, and he didn't clean none of the pens or nothing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, that's the same type of guy that I was talking about was walking through puppy shit barefooted. He didn't clean nothing up, and he knew we were coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I can't live like that. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah, MKM Bottom say my solution with every litter is having a good plan about 4 or 5 pups already in place for tender loving care, good breeder tip. Yeah, I know a few breeders like that. They will not breed until they list is full.
Now, see, like, I don't make lists.
Yeah,
Like, that's because, like, I don't
why
make a
not?
list because I'm not trying to promise anybody anything. Like, I've had a
Yeah,
couple people hit me up for females, but, like, there's only 3 females in this litter. They're staying close to me. You know what I mean? The
Yes,
males will
sir.
be available.
okay, okay. So this brings up another question.
Mhm.
Does a good breeder always have room for all the pups in the entire litter, no matter how many dogs they have, if if they can't sell them, or choose, you know what I'm saying, whatever, because I see that happen a lot of times, man. People jump in the game, and then this year they got 2 dogs, next year they got 15. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And a lot of people jump in and get over their head quick because it can happen quick overnight. And I think those things right there kind of can create a bad breeder. But do you think a breeder should have room for all the pups in case they don't get housed?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah. He should
you
have a place
should.
to split them up. And let them mature, and then he should have a place he plans on putting them when they're older too.
Mhm.
Like, I've never done a breeding that I'm not prepared to keep every one of them. Like, I just had
Yeah.
10, and if I had to, they could stay around. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
don't have to sell them.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
get to that point where I just keep a little.
Yeah, 'cause I keep having my litters any fucking way. So
So see, okay,
if it
by
had 10,
choice,
5 of them staying anyway.
yeah, by
Right.
choice, I would never keep the whole litter. I don't feel like I need to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just don't. I pick certain ones. I pick
Mhm.
and keep certain ones, and then move forward. Like most of these breedings, I've got four off of. I
Yeah.
I have kept half the litter before, and then
Yeah.
sent a couple to a couple buddies I know who have known for my whole life. So
Yeah.
it all just depends on each man's vision and stuff. You know what I mean? There's not really. There's some things that are the right way and the wrong way, but then there's other things that like each man's opinion makes it what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Elevated. Elevated.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something? When you
Yeah.
breed and you the two parents that you use, are you looking for like they clone, like their next clone, or do you, or because some people say that you're supposed to make a better dog, but like bro just said, you breed for you, so you do it what you want to do. So
Mhm.
are you looking for the next clone because you might be in love with that dog and you might just want a dog just like it. You feel like I give you a prime example. I breed my dog. I'm looking for a female just like it. They just don't want to do nothing but lick all over me. And
Mhm.
that'll be the one I'll keep in the house. And then the two other females, they going in the backyard. So I'm planning on keeping three. And the first breeding, I don't think I can say I'm looking for the better dog. I think the third breeding maybe.
Yep. Well, and
So
like
you go
so
ahead.
by breeding them the way I do get quite a bit of clones. Like even in that litter, there's two buckskins. You know, like there's dual of each one. Like I'll show
So
them off a little closer later in their pairs.
so look as a breeder. I mean, looking at a breeder from the outside looking in, what kind of property should a breeder have?
Oh,
You should.
privacy.
Oh,
I mean, I can't even say that,
I
bro,
was gonna
because
say. I was gonna say. Well, no, no. Supreme is
they got land everywhere. You don't need privacy fences when you got land everywhere.
they exactly. But this is the thing, Supreme. This is the thing. This is the thing.
Yes, sir.
And it's people that can verify what I'm about to say. Now, we hear the term. I'm gonna just say this. We hear the term how people say they not breeders, they hunters, but you're doing breeding as a hunter. Now,
Mhm.
over the years, Supreme, you heard this also. Now, I've showed people how to get cheap land. I showed people how to get land without having all of the money. To where you just gotta put a deposit and pay down your shit every month. As long as you got your money, you got your land. So with you got to be smart. We can say, well, what type of property is the breeder supposed to have? Every dog man know what they supposed to have is if they going to go get it is the question.
Mhm.
Because a lot of people know what they supposed to have, but they not working
Yeah.
towards it. So you can say that, but at the end of the day, are they going to work towards it? Because some people just feel comfortable breeding 20 fucking breedings in their local neighborhood instead
Hmm.
of finding an acre or two that's 20 minutes away or some shit. They
No,
don't want to put the
now
work
you
in.
talking about me, Welsh. No, I'm just messing.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
have
no.
been.
And, and then
You in a
and
different
then
area. You in a different area though, elevated. You in the area like I'm kinda in. So that's
But
different. I'm talking
so
about
I will
for
say
these
it
other
stood
folks.
out.
and
It stood
everybody
out
got
for
that.
my neighbors to have litters in my neighborhood like that. People noticed it. It caused me a lot more shit. So you are right. Now that I've moved, it's been a lot less problems.
But but that, and see that's what I'm saying though. So we know. See, Big A, this is the thing. We know in the inner cities, no matter what state you in, we know you're not supposed to be making too much money. We know this, Big A. This is things
Mhm.
that we know. We all grown. We all dealing with working. Hold. Why you giving him them keys, man? You better get them. Hey, take them keys down there, man. But you know what type of property you supposed to have. Now you know these dogs barking. You know they got a stereotype against the dogs. You know this already. So
Hey, but
unless you cool
I
with your neighbors. No, I was
yeah,
just saying, unless you're cool with your neighbors and you taking extra precautions in the city to prevent you from having these issues, then okay. But other than that, as a breeder, you know you bringing in multiple dogs. You know you're going to need space, so you know you're
yeah,
supposed to have at least an acre or two somewhere in the cut or networking with somebody who got land.
yeah. But okay, let's be honest. People supposed to have car insurance, but boys riding around with no insurance. You know what I'm
Yeah, hey,
saying?
hey, listen, but that's true. That's true. And again, you don't gotta own the land, but I'm pretty sure you know somebody with some.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
it's the same thing.
Now,
It's the same thing.
can can you call? The reason I'm asking all these questions is because a lot of people say that they're breeders, but it's a blurry line with it too. Can you call yourself a breeder? Uh, if you have a group of four, five, six, 8 people, but each one of y'all just have y'all own individual two dogs, 3 dogs, or whatever.
Yes, because anybody can be a breeder. That don't mean you are good and qualified. That don't mean you putting quality hounds down. Just like everybody could drive, that don't mean they're a good driver. Yeah,
Right.
anybody could be a breeder. Anybody could be a breeder, but where do you stand amongst all of the top level breeders? That's the question. Anybody can go race a car, but do you got the fastest car? Do you got one
Yeah.
of the top 5 fastest cars? So anybody can be a breeder, but where do you stand amongst the other breeders and the quality stock is the question I would ask.
Okay. So what do you consider a breeder in your perspective? What you looking for? If you going to somebody, you be like, yeah, I know he doing this thing. You don't know him or anything. You go up and you see the yard, you see his setup. You damn near don't even have to see the dogs to know that he's doing his thing.
Well, we got to check the boxes out. If I can't get word of mouth, of course, I want to see the dogs. Now, if you don't have a family of dogs with different generations, so I have to check that out because I can't see the quality. So then I have to go to the dogs you actually have on the yard. Now, if you got okay in Bane's situation where my girl found Reddy Red and had me
Hmm.
look over the pedigree. Okay, he's a 50-50 split between the Wakama family and the Pitt Island family, which both of
Hmm.
those families lead back to certain dogs, but they got separated and then rejoined each other. So me looking at that pedigree, I know there's a high percent that I can get a good one. And if the dog wasn't good, well, I wouldn't have been talking about him, but I had a high percent of getting a good one because of what the background goes back to and what the dogs are today. So him not having families of dogs, I can say, okay, well, I know about the Wakama dogs, even though I never owned them. I know about them and been in competition with them, and I know about the Pit Island dogs because of the Boomer stuff. So I can take a chance with that, even though he don't have a family of dogs. He has two family of dogs that are well known, so I can take a chance with that.
Okay.
But that don't mean he's a good breeder because I haven't seen his work. I've seen
What
Wakama and Pit Island work, but I haven't seen his work.
What about his name on the pedigree? Going back generations.
I mean,
If
that
the
really don't
dogs
matter
still stand
because
true, then that can show that he's a
yeah,
good breeder. But if they don't, then it don't matter.
No,
I
I'm
mean
saying
even but
as far as looking into him.
If they
I
have
mean
if they have the pedigree and you can look up the dogs and other people seen them, then you can get an idea of the dogs that he's produced for a long time.
yeah.
More like there's been a lot of
Meaning,
people see Medusa, Rogue. You know what I mean? They've seen through these like of this litter right here, right now. So like, there's people that would want to buy these puppies according to who their parents are, grandparents are, great grandparents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's people that seen them dogs that would they're like they were great dogs. So I would take the chance that this one's going to be a great dog
You
too.
see, you don't have to worry about a dog barking in the city. Everyone has dogs running loose. Your problem would be if your friends still. That's not true. That's not true because every dog, every meat, and I can actually speak on this because I have multiple breeds. Every dog don't bark like game dogs. Let's be correct about that. You have everybody in the inner city does have dogs, but when we talk about certain driving everything, a game dog is going to keep barking, trying to get at something to where the Labrador or the Caney Corso might bark two or three times and shut the fuck up. A game dog, depending on especially the red boy dogs, they gonna bark for 12 hours straight.
Yeah,
They
it's
be
gonna
barking
So
at the
start
wind, don't they?
that's
ghost
different.
hours.
That's different. I don't never compare no other dog barking in the city compared to game dogs.
Well,
That is different.
and like say you walk by a dog in the street, right, and they got a little dog on a leash. Other dogs will bark maybe once, stand up and like stare at it, and then keep going.
Exactly.
Uh, I had a dog named Rose. When she seen another dog, you could be 2 football fields away. If she could still see it, she was still screaming. Like that's just
That's
who
what
she
I'm
was.
saying.
She was
It's different.
screaming.
You can't compare them other more calm dog compared to a game dog that's trying to get at something that's gonna bark the whole goddamn day trying to get at it. That's two different type of situations. Because at the end of the
Uh,
day, if I got game dogs and you got Labradors and we get a noise complaint, animal control and see the game dogs and see your goddamn Labrador, they not coming to your house to talk to you about that Labrador.
nope,
Nope.
nope. If I had a yard
Shit,
full of
they
Walker
did.
dogs, I would have never met the animal control.
They did that to Dre while he was down here, man. Shoot, it's the
But
neighbor's
Big A,
dog barking. Huh?
but Big
What
A,
up?
look right. Animal control came to my house. This was years ago. This was like 20 years ago. Animal control came right, little some females. So you know what? When I opened the door, what you think I had in my hands? Some puppies.
Hmm.
I ain't never seen animal control again. That was about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
They probably forgot what
yeah,
they came there for.
yeah.
You know, it's all on how you move, Big A. It's all on how you move. It's all like if you if
Oh,
and elevated. If you in the inner city and you know you got a bunch of puppies and your neighbors got kids and all that, your neighbors you supposed to let your neighbor kids play with the puppies, bro, because you never know somebody might come and your neighbor be like, oh nah, that's a good person. Y'all don't need to be over there. Your neighbor gonna be the one to save your ass sometime. A lot of people don't think about
oh
that.
yeah, yeah. Now I've dealt with the SPCA not directly, but on a few times. Yeah, man.
He
I feel
said
where
if
all
he
my
keep
troubles
bark,
came in.
he said if he keep barking, he dumb. Well, Ronald, that's what I'm talking about between intelligent dogs and certain other dogs. Not saying that a dog that's gonna keep barking is not intelligent, but you got certain dogs who gonna bark after a while and realize that they cannot get to whatever they trying to get to, and then they gonna go about their business. Every dog is not like that, and that's the difference of what I'm saying as far as when you doing hog hunting or whatever you trying to breed for. Me personally, the first thing I look for in every dog is brains. From the time they come out and start crawling, if they get stuck in a certain position or obstacle, I look at how they handle that stuff from puppies. I'm big on smart dogs. That's the first thing I look at. So yes, uh, uh, certain dogs gonna keep barking. Certain ones gonna realize they can't get to it, and then they gonna leave it alone. But every dog is different, like every human is different.
I got a question for you. How much do you think the whelping situation, like where they're whelped at, where they learn to eat and use the bathroom, plays into the dogs they become in later in life?
I think that plays a lot because the environment. It's for instance, elevated. Say say you was in the woods, right, and your females was having pups out there in the woods where it's a lot of critters and shit running around. Compared to a dog that's being whelped in a house, in a pool, in a calmer environment, them are two different type of females.
Yep.
That female that's having them pups out in the woods, her her awareness and things like that are going to be more heightened than the ones that's having the pups that's in the house. And I can give you a perfect example with two dogs that I have that you can come and see the difference. And they very closely related. But they grew up in two different situations. So it's remember what you go through in life makes you who you are. It's the same thing with animals.
Now, here's more of a spiritual question. When you're breeding two animals, do you think your energy plays an effect on them puppies?
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Me too.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. And why that litter was so special to me with the Bane and Boo. They bred themselves together on my birthday. I didn't even do the breed.
Yeah.
Okay.
That breeding happened on my birthday 3 years ago.
Just fucking.
And they did it by themselves.
Did they only stick one time?
One time.
And they got pregnant from the stick on your birthday. That's
Eight,
crazy.
8 puppies.
That's cool. So they just were ready. They caught each other around the right time.
I mean, I had let Bane out in the back, and Wifey had let Macho Boo out in the front. I didn't know that, and I went out looking for both of them, and they got them stuck together. And that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So
Wayne Moon say your program is supposed to fit you as a man. Facts.
Yeah.
let
If
that
you
dog
don't,
be a dog. Oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
if
No,
you yeah, if you don't know how to take care of your land, you in the wrong lane. Facts.
Yeah, like I've said it many times, you better learn how to be a nutritionist, a carpenter, a concrete man, fucking, a personal trainer for them, a doctor that delivers, all the way to a caretaker. I mean, you're going to be every step of the cycle of life. So, and like your yard fitting you as a man, if you step into it and get too many, like too fast, it can like ruin your determination too. I've
Hey,
seen it.
and I think making it fit made a point too, man. I think that's part of the process of being a great breeder, man. Is your culling process. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yep. And everybody, so like, there's no right or wrong way to cull dogs out of a breeding program, right? That's just everybody has their own unique scenario. That's what makes this what it is. You know what I mean? That's why our breed is so different from every other. Think about it. Like how many generations of golden retrievers were born in the house in a swimming pool, like he just said? You know what I'm saying? Like we're different. Some of us will do it one way. Some of us will do it a completely different way. Like Wildside, he did things in his house and he left the mama on the chain.
yep,
From
yep,
my understanding.
yep.
So like there's different people that does it different. That's what makes it unique. That's what I love about this. Like that's what makes the content always flowing also. Is because there's so many different avenues that you can go with content. That's why we'll never run out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it seems okay, so like if you're watching a bunch of dog content, it'll seem like there's not that much, you know what I mean? But really, like to the average watcher, like you do stuff on a daily basis, it's like they never thought about. Like
Well,
it's
that's the
pretty
thing.
wild.
That's the thing, man. It's like I know what I know. You know what you know. Welsh, you know what you know. Supreme know what he know. Everybody know what they know, man. But the information is endless on one particular function. It's a million ways to complete a function with a dog. Different ways to go about it. You might have a certain way, how you go about it, man. It might be that you might just say one little small piece, man, that might complete my whole puzzle,
Yeah.
you know, and stuff like that count. Or it
So
might
like
be somebody, huh?
the more I've got into it, the more I've gotten interested in epigenetics, right?
Hmm.
Epigenetics is the study of how your behaviors and environment can cause changes that affect the way your genes work. These changes are not alterations to the DNA sequence itself, but rather modifications to DNA and the proteins surrounding it, influencing how your body reads and uses your genes. These epigenetic changes can be passed down through generations, influencing traits and even disease risks. Um, I took like a really big interest in that, like how much of the environment and stuff takes play on. Because I just moved, so I'm gonna keep an eye on this next litter. You know what I mean? They're raised up here in the woods versus down there in town in the valley. So I'm just excited to see what that takes
You
a
might
role on
see
my
what
puppy.
Wel you might you might see what Welsh was talking about.
Yeah, and I mean like all mine like raise hell at each other, snapping chains and like not like breaking them, like hitting the ends of the chains and stuff. Like they are dogs like that. Even in town, they were like that. You know what I mean? So like the one thing I can say that I've noticed the difference is their muscle mass and their front and rear legs. You know what I mean? Because they're on a hill. Like
Yeah,
if you come up here, you'd be like, "What the fuck? I didn't even know you could keep dogs on a hill like this." To be honest, but
yeah.
like my buddy Throwback, that's what he said. He was like, because
Mhm.
he come up here when we were moving him. He's like, "How are they gonna?" He was like having a hard time. Like, how are they gonna do that? I'm like, "That trust me, this will be fine." And like they've kind of flattened it out a little bit, but it's still on a hill. Like
Yeah,
so, like I want to see what that does to him too, because my dogs are always more blocky. They're not the rangy type of dogs. You know what I mean? So like I'm interested. Like, is that part of why my dogs are block ears? Because they've been in the mountains for so many generations. Because my dad had his dogs at that old dog yard for only like a year and a half. You know, right in there somewhere too. Like I was
where
young,
did he
so I
get his
don't.
dogs from?
They were from up here. They were from the area. Uh,
Okay.
Dixie especially. Uh, but it's just interesting. Like all the dogs in my pedigrees are right here in the country parts of anywhere from Georgia up to Virginia. You know what I mean? They're right there. You know, like in the
Mhm.
Appalachian Mountains. So like, and my dad had them on a hill. You know what I mean? Kinda. So like, I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking like, is that why they're block here? Like from generations of doing this. Plus, I was into like them dragging weight. You know what I mean? And things that like I didn't know that people were like. I've noticed a jump in that people dragging weight with their dog in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Like I've noticed a lot more people doing that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
and I don't know if it's because like Schoolboy talked about it or like I've also noticed that like in these dogs you'll watch like these few guys will talk about something and you'll see a bunch of younger guys try every bit of what they say, and
yeah,
I'm like that's cool to watch, like
yeah.
from an outsider, like from outside perspective, because I've done tried all the stuff they're going to talk about. You know what I mean? For the most part.
Mhm.
So like sitting there
Mhm.
watching people apply it, I'm like,
Mhm.
I've watched a change in the dogs a little bit. Is
Yeah,
it because of the things we're doing with them?
maybe, man. I don't know, but I do know this, man. It was like maybe 40 years ago. It was when the weight pulling really started, they started to compete and all that stuff, man. Like the whole, like it was a transition period where it was kind of frowned on upon because like with the whole thing was the function in
Yeah,
that, what's the purpose in that, um, and it's funny how it's grown into what it's grown into today. You know, it's actually a real topic of conversation. And it just goes to show, the evolution of, I guess you could say, these dogs, man, and finding uses for
yeah. Well, like one thing that can so okay, we'll bring up like the marijuana industry, right? Back
them.
in the day, it was so frowned upon. But then Cheech and Chong come out with their movie, and then other movies like Half Baked and How High, and you know what I mean, Pineapple Express, and like through people, generations of us, like Like my dad watched it for the first time as a 20-something-year-old man, right? Pineapple Express. We'll give him an example for that. He watched that at like 20-something, whereas I
Yeah,
watched it at like 17. You know what I mean? I was
yeah,
way younger. So like, as them steps has went on, in 2 generations, nobody will frown upon marijuana. Period. In 2 more generations, it'll be legal everywhere. Like it won't
hmm
be a thing like it was. The same thing with like dogs and all this stuff. And some things take a little longer than other things because of people's overall idea. And like some of it you have your own opinion of, but others, like some of the things you like and don't like is because your parents didn't like that stuff and liked it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, a lot. Yeah, yeah. It's a unconscious.
yep.
I forgot the word of it, but
How
it's an
much of that's
unconscious thing.
genetic and how much of that's environmental?
Yeah, and you trying to you know, say it's the same thing with the dogs, huh?
Yep. Yep, basically. So through time, the dogs are going to be less frowned upon, especially as like these people that are 70 and 80 and stuff, start
hmm
not being able to get out there and speak and talk about it. Because
hmm
like for example, the Pope just died 2 days
Yeah,
ago, and
yeah,
they're gonna elect another Pope that's in his 80s. That's how that'll work.
yeah,
They'll pick. There's like 3 of them that has a chance to become Pope, and they'll pick somehow. And so
yeah,
like they're trying see the reason they do that's because they don't want to introduce a bunch of new idealism really fast.
yeah,
That's why they
yeah.
won't pick somebody who's like 40 instead of somebody
hmm
who's 80. They're trying to
Yeah.
keep that's a requirement for them, and I
Speaking
realized that
speaking
when I
of
watched it.
speaking of this last pope that did die, this coming from a Catholic, born and raised, uh, baptized or confirmed, whatever.
hmm
He was the first pope to not frown upon LGBT Catholics.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
And look at
crazy
Now,
the
stuff like
movement now.
you feel me? So, but
yeah.
this might have been not, I don't know who, how many people in here Catholic, but like I said, born and raised, so I feel like I can talk about it. I don't know
hmm
if this was the one popes that ain't have no other bullshit tied to his name though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Huh.
Hey, uh, we coming up on that hour mark, man. We running past time actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
We got men at work. You gonna be there, Supreme?
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah. I'm
say
fucking
that.
around. It's time to it's 5 mile walk time. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, that's what's up. Go on, get your strut on, man. Go on, walk it out. You know
And
what I'm
some of that
saying?
stuff's good topics to listen to while out walking because like you can pay
Oh
attention
yeah,
and listen to this
man.
conversation.
I
Yep.
be jamming J Bo and nonstop when I be walking, man. Until I get a phone call or something. That's what I be. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
man, but you know what it is, man. We got men at work coming up with pimps over Sims, man. He got some game for you. You know what I'm saying? So y'all tune in for that, man. We coming up right next. What's up, Elevated?
Yes, sir. It's Elevated Kennels.
Wayne
You
in the
can catch me on
woods.
Facebook,
Y'all come
YouTube,
over.
Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. The Show Dog Journal. I'm gonna have copies in my hand really soon to be showing off, and I'm gonna send a couple. Like send one to you, send one to Schoolboy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that they can show it and talk about it too and give their opinion. Because Schoolboy's got an article in it. There's
Oh,
there's
that's what's
articles
up.
by a couple of dog men, just for so
Okay.
people, and then there's articles by people who are firsthand in the shows competing right now. You know what I mean? Then
Okay.
there's then there's
Yeah.
equipment. There's the YouTube channels. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in this magazine. Like you might get the magazine and find 8 more YouTube channels, Bulldog channels to watch. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I mean, it's gonna offer a lot, and it'll have the QR code for them. So all you gotta do is scan that QR code, click on it, and it'll bring YouTube right up.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Y'all know what it is. Supreme, what's up, man?
Yeah, y'all go check out Elevator, man. Other than that, man, me and that work coming up.
Yes, sir, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We out.
Loaded cap in my cup, holding wallet, it's hard in out though. Free up, but I'm already wired. Pouring strong brew with a backyard fire. Got dogs barking, boots on the porch, and a story to tell with a voice like a torch. It's more than just pets, this here's a code. Bloodline deep like a Mississippi road. From Saki to Michonne, that fire runs thick. And every pup's got a purpose, not just a trick. We ain't selling dreams, just truth on the line. Talking hustle hard and the legacy grind. Turn that YouTube on when the world still sleeps. And I'm preaching dog game from the roots to the street. No decaf in my cup, just grind in my veins. Every sunrise show got fire in the frame. A shotgun talk, straight real, no bluff. For the dogman and queens that been through enough. We ain't fancy, just proud and tough. Kennel built backwoods and bred in the rough. Got a coat full of dirt and a heart full of pride. Talking pick of the litter with my folks worldwide. From Frisco roots to Bacardi's flame. We saying names with weight, not chasing fame. Old yeller line, yeah, we live that proof. Teaching folks how to spot real from spoof. Ain't no silver spoon, just bark, bite, and work. With the kind of wisdom you don't find in merch. It's that Bushido code and a quote of the day. Giving game to the grinders who don't stray. From studs to the ring to the kitchen floor. We break it all down and then give them some more. No decaf in my cup, just grind in my veins. Every sunrise show got fire in the frame. It's shotgun talk, straight real, no bluff. For the dogman and queens that been through enough. We ain't fancy, just proud and tough. Kennel built backwoods and bred in the rough. It's about legacy, not just looks. About showing up, not just reading books. This morning talks for the tried and true. For the ones who know what a real dog will do. No decaf in my cup, just soul in the brew. Every bark, every breed, got a message for you. We rise, we ride with that southern strut. And we don't sip soft, now we shogun tough. So hit play, pour up, and pull up a chair. Cause we live this life and we damn sure care. It's about legacy, not just looks. About showing up, not just reading books. This morning talks for the tried and true. For the ones who know what a real dog will do. No decaf in my cup. Organ wallet.